Hello and welcome back to the Books and Betches channel. If you are new here, my name is Maria. I am 1/3 of the podcast Books and Betches. Today I have a book haul for you. I've been acquiring a lot of books over the last couple months and I don't know about you, but I have this problem where if I'm ever out and about or even online, if I'm getting on Amazon or something, I'm always thinking like, what book can I buy? And this is more for me to look back on and say, Maria, you've bought too many books. I think we should start with the Fairy Loots because I subscribed to Fairy Loot earlier this year. I can't believe it's gone by so fast already. One of them I've already shown you in an unboxing. I've done, I think, 2 unboxings so far. Let me know if you like those. I tend to not do every single one because just unboxing on the channel would be annoying, I think. But if you enjoy the unboxings, let me know. Maybe I can sprinkle them into different videos. But here are some books that I've gotten from Fairy Loot that I have not told you about yet. So first up, we have The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. So this is marketed as like, if you're a fan of Sabaa Tahir or Sarah J Maas, you'd enjoy this book. It's a YA fantasy. And it's got a 17-year-old, a survivor, and she's worked as a healer for the death prison. But they like try to kill the queen, and the queen is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. Aware the sickly queen has little chance of making it through the trials alive, Kiva, our main character, volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom. That sounds insane. I love the back. Don't let her die. We are coming. So that's one. The sprayed edges are gorge. This is The Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. This is more of a sci-fi. One of them is an automation. His name is Alex. Like, he's like an artificial intelligence, and the other is our main character. And so it sort of reminds me of Ember in the Ashes. So our main character's brother has been taken, and she is trying to find him with the help of this automation that she ended up waking up named Alex. And he is not understanding why he is the way he is, and he has no idea why he was made or why his father, their nation's greatest traitor, once tried to destroy the automation. So he's trying to figure out where he's from, why he's here, and she's trying to find her brother. So together they band together to find answers. It's pretty cool. I like the cover. The sprayed edges are gorge. I just love me some sprayed edges. Fire with Fire, a sister story. This cover is wow. The back says, I didn't choose you and you didn't choose me, but we have each other now, always. Apologies if the angle changed. My camera decided to die on me. So 2 sisters, they slay dragons. One is a dragon slayer through and through. She wants to just destroy them all. And the other takes a backseat with it. She's not as invested in it. She cares more about her daily high school life until she forms a magical bond with a dragon. And so that obviously is going to turn their sisterhood into a problem, because if one wants to kill dragons and one's magically bonded to one, you got some drama. The edges, of course, are gorgeous. This cover is beautiful. I love the colors. I love the it's just beautiful artwork. So I'm excited for that one. And then the most recent one I got, I love this cover, but I also love the other cover I've seen of it, but it's 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This is such a beautiful cover. And then the sides, like, it's so pretty. So it's about a princess who, on like her wedding day or her betrothal ceremony, she unleashes a power that she didn't know she had. And it gets the attention of her stepmother, a sorceress in her own right, Rakima. And the sorceress banishes this girl to some far-off place and basically turns her brothers into cranes and says, if you speak, if you do anything, I will kill your brothers. Penniless, voiceless, and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers and uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. So we got some political intrigue. We got some magic. And we've got an awesome, like, premise. This seems so gorgeous to me. It's so hard. I love Fairy Loot. I love what it provides, but it's making my TBR 10 times worse. And it's, anyway, I love this cover. I think this and Witches Steeped in Gold are my favorite covers so far. that I've gotten from Fairy Loot. So now let's move on to purchases, general purchases that I've done out and about. First up, we have Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I've heard about this since before its release. I believe it has Indigenous rep. It's a sci-fi. Here's the other thing. I don't like to read synopses too much. I am one of those, like, I'll hear the hype. If the cover gets me, I'll read the synopsis once. And if I like it, I'll buy it. I'll take it, and I won't look at the synopsis again. Because I kind of like to go into books not knowing much so that I'm surprised and I don't have to take somebody else's word for a book that I'm reading, right? Like, does it happen to you where, like, you listen to somebody else's review of a book, and if they say, like, let's say they say, oh, it's too descriptive, then you have that in the back of your head of like, well, it's too descriptive. What if I like the descriptions? So I may not know much of the plot here. I'm sorry, but go look for yourself. I hear it's amazing. Anyway, this is the most recent purchase of mine, City of Brass by S.A. Jackabordi. Another epic fantasy that I've heard so much about. I, again, barely know much about the plot. I read the synopsis once, and that's it. And I kind of want to keep it that way. So far, a lot of these books that I've been picking up have that overarching theme of a journey of characters trying to get from point A to point B, and they are on this epic adventure. This feels like one of those. It's an epic adventure book with Middle Eastern themes. This, I definitely have no idea what this book is about. I went to, it's one of like those like wholesale discount stores near my parents. It's called Ollie's. And I saw two books there. This is the first. It's called Emergency Contact. I feel like this is probably just a contemporary fiction with some kind of romance theme. I hope it has romance. A tender texting-based teen romance. Okay, so is it mixed media? Oh, it is. Okay, so we have texts and emails sent between these two characters. When Sam and Penny cross paths, it's less meet cute and more collision of unbearable awkwardness. Still, they swap numbers and stay in touch via text and soon become digitally inseparable, sharing their deepest anxieties and secret dreams without the humiliating weirdness of having to, see each other. That's fun. As someone who has a pen pal and that has had one for, oh my God, how long have Kate and I been friends? Over a decade. I think a while. So anything with like pen pals I love, because that's how I met my best friend. Sorry if the sticker bothers you. I want to take it off, but I'm so afraid it's going to ruin the cover. So the other book I got from the same store is, I think it's a YA. I have no idea what this book is about. I think I just read the synopsis once, like usual, and said, this seems up my alley. I'll grab it because I have no self-control. So this is called The Stars We Steal by Alexa Dawn. This is about a princess. It's kind of like sci-fi. Her and her family are on the brink of ruin, and she has decided to basically find a husband that could save her and her family from financial ruin until her childhood love, Elliot, shows up. He is now a captain of a whiskey ship, which is kind of cool, a whiskey ship. And he's the one that got away. Leo's family is deemed, her name is Leonie, but they call her Leo. Leo's family deemed to be unsuitable for marriage. Now he's the biggest catch of the season, and he seemed determined to make Leo's life miserable. So it seems like it's going to be a friends to enemies to maybe lovers. I'm down. I've never heard of this book before. I haven't even seen it on Bookstagram. I wonder when it was even published. Let's find out when it was published. Oh, 2020. Really? Okay. Next up. This is a purchase of a book I've already read, but I only had it on audio. The Bride Test by Helen Huang. Listen, if you have not read any books by Helen Huang, you are missing out. Like, missing out. Get your life together. Helen Huang is where it's at, all right? First up, I read Kiss Quotient by her. Freaking love that book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. But this is her second book in the same universe. You don't have to read, it's almost like the Brown Sisters series from Talia Hibbert, where they're all in the same universe, but you don't have to read them in order. So this book is about Kai, who feels like he doesn't function properly. He doesn't feel emotions like everybody else does. He's on the spectrum of autism. So he doesn't feel love, he doesn't feel grief, at least he thinks he doesn't. And his mother, drawn to desperation, decides to go to Vietnam and get him a mail order bride. That's where Esme comes in. Esme is a mixed race girl living in Vietnam. She has her own young child, and when she's approached by Kai's mother to be his wife here in America, she takes the opportunity because she thinks this is the big break her family finally needs to move forward and have a better life. So she comes to America to seduce Kai, but her qualms aren't working. Well, they work on her, not on him. So she's starting to fall for Kai, and she just thinks that it's not working on that end. But obviously, Kai's different, so the way he experiences things is different. I love this book, and I love Kiss Cushion. I love the autism rep. I think it's something that you should definitely see in more books more often. It's a wonderful story to be told, and how it's not your conventional love story, but it's still just as important. And the third book in this series is The Heart Principle. It's coming out August 31st here in the US, so I'm really pumped to grab that one. Docile by K.M. Spara. It's a sci-fi dystopian kind of, maybe a thriller. It's got a lot of heavy themes. There's a trigger warning on the back. I think there's like a drug in here called Docilin. So Alicia's family has been riddled with debt, and so his mother is sort of incapacitated in a way due to drug use, a certain drug called Docilin. So Alicia takes upon himself to eradicate his family's debt. And so to do that, he becomes a docile himself, whatever that is. I don't understand what it is, but with that drug that his mother took but refuses to take it. That's until his contract is purchased by Alexander Bishop III, who is gonna do whatever he can to make Alicia basically submit and become the perfect docile without even needing the drug. I don't know. It sounds freaking weird. It sounds like it's got some sexual themes, some drug themes. The trigger warning says, Docile contains forthright depictions and discussions of rape, abuse, and other consent violations, as well as attempted suicide and suicide ideation. So just know that going in, if you're interested in this book at all. I know I'm not giving the best kind of synopsis because I don't even know what it is about. Just know that there's some heavy themes in there. Just read trigger warnings before you go in. This book, Naomi Novik's Uprooted. I know very little about this book, like all the books, but I've heard it's really good. I've got a couple friends mention to me that I should pick this book up. They rely on this wizard known as the dragon, and every 10 years he comes to claim a young woman as payment for his services. And so our main character, Agnieszka? Let's call her Agni. Agni believes her best friend is the one that's about to get taken. But the line says, but when the dragon comes, it is not Kazuya he will choose. So my thought process is that our main character gets taken by this dragon, and there might be a enemies to lovers thing. I hope so. Because, you know me, my favorite thing is Beauty and the Beast. I feel like this is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Anything that has that Stockholm syndrome shit, as terrible as it is, gets me every time. So, Uprooted. If you've been following my Goodreads lately, you would know that I recently read An Ember in the Ashes. Loved it. I think it's like one of my favorite reads of the year. And so I picked up the sequel. I just haven't started it yet because like I did with ACOTAR, I like to go into my series that I'm really into. I like to go in slow. I like to milk them and make them last, because if I go through them so fast, it's like, what's the point, you know? So this is book 2 in the Ember in the Ashes series. Not to give you any spoilers, but the first book is about Elias and Leia. Their stories are told sort of separately, but they do converge at some point. Leia, her brother gets taken by the Empire, and so she's trying to save her brother. She goes to the Resistance to ask for their assistance. Blech. And they say, sure, we'll help you, but honestly, you have something for us. You have to go into the most infamous military academy and spy while she's in there. Like, not her handler, but the woman she has to work for is brutal. She is horrible. So she's basically a slave, while Elias, he is in the academy and all he wants is to get out. It's those two stories and their destinies converging. I really liked that book. It really had me engaged. I loved the story behind it. I loved the descriptions. One thing I will say is, if you are triggered by any kind of discussion of rape, I would steer clear because it is brought up often. I don't know about this one, but the first book definitely mentioned it often. So that's that. My last purchase that of like just general books that I've bought new is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. This is another book that I have no idea what it is about, but I know there's like a murder mystery and there's Indigenous rep. I believe. But also it's like, oh, I don't want to know. I just want to go in blind. And the cover is gorgeous. It was all over Instagram, which is probably why I bought it, because I was being influenced by the influencers. Now let's move on to some of my favorite finds. I love to go thrift shopping. I love thrifted books. It brings me joy to be like at a Goodwill or a Savers and find a book that I'm like, oh, I've been wanting to read that. Look at me finding it here used, and it's better for the environment. So first up, Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead. Rochelle Mead. I've seen the first film of this, but I heard the first film is trash compared to the books. This is on the same level of like the Vampire Diaries, where in this case, the Vampire Diaries, the books were worse than the show. So this might be the opposite, where the books are better than the movie adaptation. So I hear it's really good. I hear a lot of people like it. I don't know. I picked it up on a whim. I think it was like $1. These next three, I purchased them because they were my best friend's like favorite author / book / series. Samantha Young, I don't know if this is called the Hearts Boardwalk series. So the first one, I don't even know which one's first. Oh well. The Truest Thing, Every Little Thing, and The One Real Thing. I don't know if I like the titles, but I hear this series is great. It's one of those like sort of like same town, different characters that they all sort of like intertwine. But Kate loved this series, and so when I saw these three at Goodwill, I was like, I have to buy them. I think they're like only like $2 each. So don't know when I'll get to it, but they're there. And then this, I didn't see this coming. To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I've only seen the first film, and it was cute. I didn't lose my mind over it, but I didn't realize at the time that they were books. And so when I saw the books hardcover at Goodwill, I had to take them. I mean, this one still has a price tag on it, but it was like $3 each book. I had to. Yeah, and I love the covers. They're super cute. I love that they're not just film covers. I don't like film covers on books. So, got those three. This book I had seen talked about by Noelle Gallagher here on BookTube. Writers and Lovers by Lily King. She says this is one of her favorite books ever, or at least a very high favorite of hers. So, again, no idea what it's about, but because Noelle talked about it, I said it has to be good, and it was at the Goodwill. So, I picked it up. And we'll see when I get to read it. I like this hardcover. It's good quality, good condition. The last book I've gotten from Goodwill was The Vanishing Half. I've been wanting to get this book since it came out, since it blew up. I just hadn't gotten the chance of actually going to purchase it. And when I saw it at Goodwill, lost my mind. It was only $3, I think. $2. So, perfect find. And I love the cover. It's cool. So that is the end of my recent book haul. I think there's a Fairy Loot box coming. And this, it's the August box, isn't it? I think so. I think it's the August box. If it is, the August box got 2 books in it. I'm so excited. And that's it. That is my book haul for you. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, we are posting our podcast here on YouTube as well as other booktube-ish things. Follow us on our Instagram at books_n_betches, BETCHES. Kristen spells that much faster than I can. And yeah, let me know what other videos you'd like to see from me. I am still dabbling into this booktube world, and a little bit of guidance would be great. Talk to you next time. Bye.